Hello and welcome, Bike Club members. We are keeping this brief. I know everybody is in the throes of everything holiday. We also have Stay on Plan for the holidays going this month. So we're not going to go crazy with these sessions. However, I did want to announce I'll be posting an announcement for a hot seat for our next session. So what hot seats are, if you don't remember, or if you're new to Bike Club, it's been a little while since we've done one, but you can get personal coaching verbally with me in this kind of situation over video. And I have applications. I choose someone. I try to get through to everybody as quickly as I can. But we do it live. We do it together. And I'm so sorry. Actually, Trim Healthy Mama is sending me text messages about their sales. I don't know if you guys have signed up for their text messages, but I get them nonstop. So I'm just going to turn that off real quick. Sorry about the noise. Anyway, we're having our quick session today, but we are going to have that longer hot seat. So that's basically where you get direct help with whatever you're dealing with in the moment. And any way I can help you, we're going to talk about it live. So I'll be posting applications for that soon. And when Stay on Plan for the holidays is done, we have a few challenges coming in January. We're going to be working through a wisdom menu, a new one. This is going to be the Wizzy Natural. So this isn't the Wizzy Shake Up, but this is a great way to get your feet wet with the wisdom approach while you're going through some of the wisdom content in Bike Club. What I have to say though, the wisdom approach is stricter and it's not for everybody. It may not be exactly what you need in that season. So that's why we're taking this approach with this gentler menu to help you get adapted to some of the principles that will help you long-term on THM, whether you need the wisdom book, whether you don't. And how do you know if you need it or not? Generally, anybody over 35 can benefit from a lot of what we teach, what's taught in the book. If you are struggling a little bit or stuck, I would implement everything in there. If you're not stuck, I would just work on the wisdom principles because they're general health principles that can help absolutely anybody to have greater health and a greater functioning body and metabolism. So that's where I would say, whether you want to go whole hog on this approach for stubborn weight or not, I think it's good for everybody to know. But if you don't, it's still going to be very beneficial to you. So we are going to be working on that in January. So this quick little mini session is just here for me to remind you. And if you have questions, you can post them in the chat right now while we're live on YouTube. I just want to remind you about your timing. Timing is the number one cause of slip ups in December. It's not the holiday food. I've been doing this for years, many years. And I can tell you, when I'm checking food journals, even lately, and I'm not calling anybody out because I had not so great timing this yesterday also. It happens to everybody. So I want to remind you, we don't just have good timing and we don't just eat every 4 hours because we want you eating a lot of food. We don't just do that because, we feel hungry or we expect you to feel hungry at those times. Although I see it over and over again that once we get used to eating at those times, we start to get hungrier every 4 hours because those hunger hormones seem to be resetting for us. We're not doing those things for those reasons. So if you're saying, I didn't eat because I wasn't hungry, the mean way to say that would be like, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I know it sounds terrible. I do care a ton, but you get where I'm coming from here. That's not the highest priority. There have been certain parts in my journey where if I only ate when I was hungry, I wouldn't eat at all. Or if I was intuitively eating when I felt hungry, I would be eating all day long, nonstop in massive amounts because my hunger hormones were disrupted. I wasn't able to eat intuitively or how my body felt like it because my body never felt like eating. And when I had high cortisol, especially, and even still when I have cortisol issues, and I don't know if you recognize this, but I was never hungry for breakfast when I was struggling with cortisol. So how do we combat that? I recommend scheduling your meals ahead of time. I recommend setting a timer. I recommend attaching your meal times to other things that you're doing. So for example, if I am going to have breakfast every day, I might as well anchor breakfast like after school drop-offs, but before a workout. Things like that can help a lot. Sometimes it's best to start at dinner time and count backwards. So my husband likes to eat dinner at 6. Sometimes it is 6:15 or 6:30 if I'm having a busy day. I do work full time. I have, 5 kids at home still, one out of the house. We have a very, very, very busy lifestyle with lots of activities and just lots of craziness. So with that in mind, I usually will start at 6 and say that's dinner time. I count backwards 3 hours and say, okay, I need to have a snack at around 2:45. Then I count backwards before that and say, I know every day I need to eat lunch at like 11:30 to space that well between that and my snack. And then that means I need to have breakfast usually at 7:30. But what I try to do is I'll get up and have a little bit of carbs and some protein, even if it's not a full meal, and then try to have that within an hour of finishing my breakfast. So that means I might have, start my breakfast at 6:45 and with that little carbs and protein snack, and then finish by 7:45. And of course, we have exceptions for workouts. We want a little bit more protein after a workout. If you can time it differently, that's great too. But what I see a lot of times is that during the holidays, our schedules get busy, and those routines that we set for ourselves with the timing every day, like this is when I eat breakfast, this is when I eat lunch, this is when I have my snack, this is when I have dinner, that gets messed up. So if you find that that's the case for you, you have to be more intentional about scheduling the crazy things into your day. Like you know, let's say I know that on Thursday I have an extra work job that's going to take up 3 hours and it's not a normal part of my schedule. I have to plan ahead so that I have the timing down ahead of time and I set my timers ahead of time. Let's say you have a party to go to and you need to reschedule your day. I highly recommend doing that way ahead so it's not an issue in the moment. Let's say you get that call on Thursday and you already have your day set and there you get a call, hey, can you come work on this project? Can you come drop this thing off? Can you come do this? Can you, go help your sister clean her house? Can you go? I'm trying to use examples I haven't heard in boot camp, just so nobody feels like I'm picking on them. But you have those things come up, then you have to be sure, okay, this came up at the last minute, but I have my snack bag in my car and I have a dinner in the freezer I can pull out, or I'm going to run on the way home and grab a rotisserie chicken, or I have these things set up ahead of time to make it easier. But being intentional about that timing is not just going to help you keep your blood sugar level steady, help you get enough protein in so that you're not losing muscle, which is your metabolism. So when you're dropping weight, we want to make sure it's fat, not muscle. If you're losing muscle, you are losing your metabolism and you are setting yourself up for failure in the future to be able to lose weight. I can speak from experience on this because I have had rapid weight loss, both off THM on other plans and with THM. And while it feels great for those first several months that you've lost the weight and then you are enjoying that a little bit, even if you stay fully on plan, even if you keep eating well, rapid weight loss that includes fat and muscle, which is usually what happens with rapid weight loss, is going to backfire because the weight comes back and it brings friends. We don't want it to bring friends. We want to be right where we want to be. We want to be metabolically healthy long term. I want to be metabolically healthy into my 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. I want my whole body to be healthy. And one way that we do that is we avoid that rapid weight loss that includes muscle loss, and we protect our muscle by eating enough protein during the day. Everybody has muscle on their body. I have gotten the question, not in boot camp, but just on social media, like, oh, I'm not very muscular. Your body is still made up of a lot of muscle that it needs to function, to help you lose weight in the future, to protect your brain, to protect your blood sugar. Muscle has so many important functions. So even if you don't see the muscle, it's still there. It's still worth protecting, and scheduling your meals or timing them appropriately will help you keep the muscle that you have, even if you're not necessarily actively building muscle in the moment, although I highly recommend that too. So my point is just focus on your timing. That's the first thing to go over the holidays. Staying on time will help you stay on plan. So remember that if you are getting your protein in earlier in the day and your veggies in earlier in the day, you're going to do better at staying on plan long term. I hope that makes sense. Thanks for hanging out with me for a few minutes today. We have a lot of really exciting stuff coming in December and January. I don't want to overwhelm you, but we've got some really fun things coming and some great challenges I'm excited to do live with you. So I will see you soon. Bye.